Chelsey with the Happy Home team, and I'm here at Fairway Greens Condominium Complex where I purchased my first property ever. It's a lovely complex. No place like home. I lived here for several years before I converted into a rental property. There's my parking space, and it is my parking space still because unlike my brother, I've never sold a piece of real estate I've ever purchased. So I still own this guy, and I got a really happy tenant living in it. So when I first decided to make a move on this property, we actually were going to list it for sale. I was in no shape to be able to purchase a property. I had zero credit history, so I had to start by building credit. So I opened a few credit accounts. You actually have to have make some payments before it shows up on your credit. So what we started with was I got a Macy's card, I got a Les Schwab credit account, and one other, I think it was Target. And I went, and as soon as I opened those accounts, I went up to the place and I made a payment. And as soon as I made that payment, it reported to my credit. In the meantime, I signed a lease option to purchase this property. So I moved right on in while I was waiting for all this stuff to happen. So once I finally had credit set up and was able to make a move on the property, and thankfully I was able to make a move because I did have to sign a contract with the owner because his plan was to sell, that if I wasn't able to get financing put in place, I was responsible for replacing the carpet. That was my responsibility. And when you're 20 years old, the last thing you want to do is replace carpet for somebody you don't even know. I was motivated.
Yep.
After less than 10 years of home ownership and getting to call the place home for myself, I decided to make a move and buy a single family property. In order to make that happen, I was able to use the equity that I had built in this property. Don't mention also the years of tax write-offs that I got by being a homeowner. But by having all of that extra money, I was able to pay off my debt and get my ratios in line so that I could afford to purchase the next property. So I basically leveraged this property to be able to springboard into the next property. I also at that time converted this property into a rental. So I used this property, I got a lease on this property, had somebody signed up to move in, was able to use the anticipated rental income as part of my moving on to the future. So cash flowing property, moving into the future, life was looking great. So if you look at the history of the real estate market from the time I purchased the condo to now, you'll see that there's been a lot of swings in the market. But over time, it has definitely trended up. So as long as it's a long-term plan, it's all good.